Hello, my name is Ashley Clark, and I am the librarian at Dillard Drive Elementary, which is in Raleigh, North Carolina, and we are part of the Wake County Public School System. Wake County has a contract with Follett Destiny, and Follett Destiny is the OPAC that we use in Wake County. So right now on my screen, you can see what the searching station would look like when a student came to the library to search for a book. So initially, this was the only search feature that we had in Destiny, but this past school year, Wake County actually purchased an add-on called Destiny Discover. So Destiny Discover does not come up in the initial library search. They would actually have to click on it over here on the left-hand side where it says Destiny Discover. And as you can see, it prompts them and takes them to a new window. So my initial thoughts on that is that it's kind of frustrating that it doesn't immediately take them there and that it's just creating an extra step for the students that seems almost unnecessary. So when we get into Destiny Discover, my initial thoughts on the display. The first thing that I noticed right away was something that they added this year called Title Peek. Title Peek basically just shows the students a picture of the cover of a book, which I love because there's often times where students will come to me and say, "Do you have that blue book with Humpty Dumpty on it?" And they can't necessarily recall what the title of the book is. I love that it has the recently added books, so students can look for the new books that have been added to our collection by simply browsing this section. It also has the popular titles section, which again, they often will ask me, "Do you have Captain Underpants?" And they can't tell me the exact name, but if they saw the cover, they might recognize it. And then as I scroll down even further, it has something called topics, and it's broke down by category, and each category has an emoji or an icon that just makes browsing even easier for students. So if a student was looking for books about sports, they could click on that, and it's going to bring up a variety of books that are related to sports on a variety of topics. One thing that I found a little frustrating just as I was browsing is that there's not a clearly defined back button. So if the students wanted to get back to the home page, they have to click back where it says Destiny Discover, but that's not readily available or readily known. The search box is displayed clearly at the top. And I can easily see, just looking through this briefly, what books have been added and what books are popular. So if I was going to do a search, I would just start by searching in the clicking in the search box and typing in the title of a book is the most common things that students search for. There is an option to click here on the side, and you can see a more advanced search option comes up, including the ability to change the format if they're looking for an ebook or an audiobook. A keyword search, they could search by title, author, or series. Again, I don't think that that is something that they would do automatically. I think that they would just be most commonly just typing in a word or a basic title. So today I had a student that came and asked me for the graphic novel series Baby Mouse. So when we did our initial search, it did prompt other books that started with baby, and it did actually bring up Baby Mouse. So when I clicked on it, it doesn't automatically go. You actually have to click the search button again. And then the initial retrieval results were not related to anything that I was searching for. So I could see if you were a third through fifth grader that this would be frustrating and that there would be a chance that you would most likely give up because you didn't find what you were looking for initially. After a little bit of playing around, we discovered that Baby Mouse doesn't have a space, and that's why we could not find it. So when we searched it again, we were able to find the exact series that we wanted. As I scrolled down, I could see all of the available Baby Mouse books that we have in the library that are a part of this series. So when I clicked on this first one, some basic information comes up. It gives, the series, the publisher, the edition, the ISBN. If I click here where it says Explore, I can see the subject headings that are related to this book. So just from a really quick look, I would say that yes, these subject headings were related to this book. So for example, in this book, it's all about Baby Mouse trying to learn to swim. So I would say that that was, yes, related. She is a mouse, so that's related. And comic books, definitely. If I click on a subject heading, it brings up some other Baby Mouse books, but then it does also bring up another graphic novel that we have called Missile Mouse, the Star Crasher. So I would say that the subject headings are related and focused on the topics that are available. Another thing that students often ask me for when they're looking for a book or a series or doing some sort of report is famous people. So if I type in just Ruby Bridges as an example, and I click that search button, I can see that these are the books that are available for Ruby Bridges. When I click on it, again, it takes you to that basic information. It has this explore options. And then another thing that I really love is it has an option for students to share a link to this title. So if they wanted to share it or, keep it for some reason, there's an option to do that in a really basic copying feature. It also creates a citation for the book, which I think is great, and it has the different styles that students could choose, so MLA or APA. And then they also have the option to export it to EasyBib if they were creating some sort of bibliography and they were citing this book. Another thing that I thought was helpful when I was looking at the display features and the retrieval information is that it does have the call number listed. So students would know that the B would stand for biography, and that it would be found in the main library. And it has who the author is and that this particular resource is a book. Overall, when I think about the display features in Destiny Discover and the retrieval features, I think that there's some really great positives. I like that it has marked if the book is available, so if it says in or if it says out. I like, as I mentioned before, the title peek so that students know what the cover of the book looks like. I like the sharing feature, and if it's fiction or an everybody book, it listed in the call number. One thing that I thought was a little bit disheartening was the fact that it doesn't have any sort of autocorrect or did you mean. So, for example, if I was looking for mouse and I misspelled it, and I clicked here, it doesn't have any results that were found. So, like in a platform, if you were searching in a platform like Google that has an option to autocorrect or a did you mean feature, I think that would be really helpful, especially considering elementary school students. Initially, I couldn't find anything that was related to a help option, but upon some further exploration, I clicked over here on the sidebar and I did find a help feature. When I clicked on it, it was very apparent to me that this help feature was not intended for student use, and that it was definitely intended for adults, or even more specifically, the librarian. As you can see, it has things like finding collections, title details, adding or removing titles from your favorite list, just things that wouldn't necessarily be helpful for an elementary school student. So overall, I think that the Destiny Discover feature has some real positives and some things that would be really helpful, but I also think it has some improvements that could be made, as I pointed out. So it'll be interesting to see if they make any changes over the next year. Thank you.